John was asked, it seemed from the sidelines that Scotland were going wide the whole time, one way or the other. Did we try and go too wide too early without any forward momentum?
Yeah, you're right at times. Look, I think the first 15 minutes was a bizarre sort of test match. It was so open. We made some breaks in that period. We went wide. We turned over the ball. They made some breaks, turned over the ball. Wasn't really what you describe as a Six Nations game. In that period, we obviously needed to be a bit more accurate to make more of the possession we had in the opposition 22. But the try that Wales got really sapped our confidence. It looked like, or certainly in hindsight, and gave them momentum to go back and score another try. But we weren't accurate right across the board. So whether that was the decisions to go wide at times or just getting numbers to break down, making the right passing decisions a few times, that we passed the players that had defenders on them, but there was space outside. And then a couple of times we lost set piece ball, which allowed Wales more possession.
Gregor, last year at Twickenham, which we discussed before the game, the occasion seemed to get to the Scotland players. Has that repeated itself today, do you think?
Well, it's something that obviously it got to us because we didn't play anything like we know we can play, and we have played since that game at Twickenham, and we played away from home since then. But we weren't focused enough or accurate enough, and our defence shape at times wasn't something that we would like. Narrow forwards caught out in outside channels, or front rows caught out in outside channels. So whether that's the nature of the game, it became so open and there was mistakes from both teams, or more likely just our focus on making sure we execute what we know we can execute.
How do you address that problem of one error becoming two and spiralling? And it seemed this team kind of preaches organised chaos. It did seem to be more just chaos at points. How do you get the guys to take a step back and get your key decision makers to get a grip in the game, especially away from home where it's so hostile?
Well, you get moments to come together in huddles. You get moments if you've conceded tries. The key decision makers have to come together too. So your captain and John and your halfbacks, and I believe the conversations were happening pretty well. But there was an element of chasing the game, especially in that second half, where I felt we didn't need to do it as early, playing in our 22 a bit lateral, and gave Wales an early penalty. So we didn't start that second half with a response. Look, we need to have a response throughout this week. One team loses, one team wins whenever there's a game of rugby, but that was miles below what we know we're capable of, and what we need to do in this jersey, but also what we need to do in this championship.
Gregor, the team's had a lot of praise since November. I expect they'll need a lot of lifting up after that. It was a shock to the system.
Look, I think we should be criticised for today's performance, and that's whether that's from you guys, from the supporters that were down there, or amongst ourselves. We know that was well short of what is required playing for Scotland, but we have an opportunity to put things right this week. We come together few and far between during the season, with 2 months since the last game against Australia, and now the shock is that we played so badly, given that we played so well in the last game. But now we have 4 games, especially the next one coming up quickly, and we're going to be much better.
Gregor, how confident are you that you can turn that around in a week in terms of that kind of drop off from the bottom? You've got to do it quickly.
Yeah. Look, it'll be words here, but of course I'm confident. I believe in the players. I believe in what they've produced at training and games leading up to today, and I believe in their determination to put it right. At home. We have to make sure next time we go on the road, and that'll be in Dublin, that we have to be much better than we were today. But playing in front of our own supporters will give the players energy and a boost. But we need a lot more than that, considering how badly we played today.
Gregor, the Scotland fans.
This is the last question for the live press.
Shown a lot of optimism and positivity going into the Championship this week. What do you see in this side, following that performance, that can allow them to restore that optimism ahead of the next round?
Yeah, I'll be putting that out next week. So I don't think there'll be much today that they can say this is what they want to see next week. But Championship is always a highly contested affair. We were badly beaten today, but it was a defeat. There was no, as we said during the week and last week, there wasn't many away victories last year. We just got to make sure that we play much better next week.
Okay, we'll just move on to the Print and Barble for Monday.